What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and it's looking like Kevin Feige really does have insanely huge plans for the next two phases of the MCU and then beyond that. That's right, Kevin Feige has all of his plans for Phase 5, Phase 6, and of course, Phase 7 and beyond, which we're not really surprised about. It's Kevin Feige. He's already said that he thinks about 10 years ahead. But I gotta say, what we've recently been hearing about the end of the multiverse saga, which we still have a few years left on, but the end of it is sounding like it's going to be simply fantastic, and then the start of the next saga is where I think the MCU is going to get even more exciting than we've ever seen it before. However, it is sounding like Phase 6 and the end of the multiverse saga is truly going to be very hard to top. And if you're thinking X-Men, then you're right. However, perhaps not the X-Men that you are thinking about, as we've heard news today that makes sense that we've actually been speculating about for a while that states Kevin Feige is going to say goodbye to the Fox X-Men first before introducing the new X-Men. And this makes sense, and I actually really love it, and it is very sentimental because Kevin Feige started his Marvel career with the X-Men. As I talked about yesterday, the first film that Kevin Feige worked on was the X-Men film in 2000. That film kickstarted his career, and he worked with Hugh Jackman then as well, and actually helped Hugh Jackman kind of become Wolverine. He was an associate producer on that film, but of course he would go on to become co-producer, executive producer, all the way up until now, where of course he is the president of Marvel Studios. So, in a new report from Grace Randolph, I believe she mentioned it today, she is the one reporting that Kevin Feige will say goodbye to the Fox X-Men first in Avengers Secret Wars, and then after Avengers Secret Wars, he will bring in the new X-Men into the MCU in Phase 7. And I'm actually okay with this, because I've been predicting this for a while, that the X-Men wouldn't come until Phase 7. It just doesn't seem like there's enough time between now and the events of Secret Wars to introduce major X-Men characters. But rather, a cool thing that they could do is after Secret Wars, after they've worked with a whole bunch of X-Men, a bunch of different X-Men variants, they could question where the X-Men, where the mutants of their own universe are, the main MCU X-Men, which I'm kind of curious to see what Doctor Strange is going to go on to do after Multiverse of Madness, because you would think that that's going on in his mind. Where are these extremely powerful heroes in my own universe, even though he probably doesn't think they're too powerful, considering how the Scarlet Witch simply obliterated them. But nonetheless, anybody would be curious to see if those people existed in their own universe. So I'm curious to see what Doctor Strange 3 has in store for us. Because I think, since Kevin Feige is going to say goodbye to his X-Men in Secret Wars, we'll probably see some other X-Men and other characters that he's worked on before pop up in the MCU before Secret Wars. And we already know one has already been confirmed, and it's the big one, Wolverine.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
You have questions?
Yes.
Hugh Jackman is returning to play Wolverine alongside Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool 3. And it's been said that Deadpool is going to visit other parts of the Fox universe and see other characters from the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and who knows what else. This is seemingly the start of Kevin Feige's grand goodbye. And I really love this for Kevin Feige, but also for the actors as well, because plenty of them have stated that they would have loved to have been in the MCU, loved to have been a part of it, and now they get to. In some way, shape, or form, they will have been a part of the MCU. And then after Secret Wars, I feel like they could truly move on from their characters. So pretty much everything that we wanted to see from Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, it sounds like we are truly going to get that in Secret Wars, and it's the perfect opportunity to do so. I think Spider-Man No Way Home was great, probably the best to come from Phase 4 of the MCU. But it wasn't on a super huge scale, it was just two other Spider-Man and a few villains coming to our universe. And it was done by a spell, it wasn't really multiverse hopping. And Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be a lot of multiverse hopping, but it didn't really happen. We kind of only stuck to a few universes and only saw a handful of variants. Whereas Secret Wars is sounding like we're going to have at least 50 different variants of characters appearing. So let's talk about what exactly is going to happen and which characters we can expect to see. And this character list excites me so much. It's so exciting. But first, big thank you to Mint Mobile for sponsoring this video. Most people know about Mint Mobile because of Ryan Reynolds, but most people don't know about Mint Mobile's amazing quality. Now, I live in the mountains and service isn't too good. However, Mint Mobile sent me a free plan and I get better service with their plan than I do with my other provider. But what's crazy is their plan is so much cheaper. Mint Mobile offers wireless for just $15 a month. They give you the best rate whether you're buying for one or a family, and at Mint Mobile, families start at only 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Plus, Mint Mobile's modern family plan lets you mix and match data plans so everyone gets the amount of data that's right for them, and you can use your own phone and keep your same number and contacts. So to get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month, including the modern family plan, go to mintmobile.com/cosmic. That's mintmobile.com/cosmic. Cut your wireless bill down to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/cosmic. So Grace in her video seems to think that Kevin Feige is going to focus on the original X-Men, in which I agree. I think this would make the most sense. Like I said, that was the first project he worked on. Now, of course, that's not all we should expect, but let's talk about these original X-Men. So of course, we're going to be getting Hugh Jackman back. We already know that. But then Ian McKellen as Magneto, which I'm dying to see. Patrick Stewart, of course, as Professor X, which we kind of got in Multiverse of Madness. Not the same one from the Fox universe, so we'll be getting the same one soon. James Marsden as Cyclops, who I absolutely love, and I think he's been crushing it lately. Halle Berry as Storm, who is just iconic. I love her. She played a perfect Storm. Famke Janssen as Jean Grey. Hopefully, Rebecca Romijn can return as Mystique, and then Anna Paquin as Rogue, who I actually didn't like that much, but would be really cool to see nonetheless. Seeing these characters return is definitely going to be some of the best nostalgia any of us fans could ever dream of. And the great part about this is it actually fits the story. It's not them doing it to just do it. That's what Secret Wars is, all of the variants coming together. A vast multiversal war fighting for the literal multiverse's survival. And we know it's not just going to be the X-Men and the X-Men variants coming together, but the Fantastic Four and the Fantastic Four variants as well. Now, of course, we have 2 iterations of the X-Men and the Fantastic Four from Fox. And even though Kevin Feige seemingly wants to give a proper goodbye to his original X-Men and probably the original Fantastic Four, I would expect some of the X-Men First Class to appear as well, and maybe even some of the Fantastic Four with Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan. After all, it would be kind of cool to see Michael B. Jordan play the Human Torch and Killmonger and have those 2 characters side by side, completely different people. However, I do think Kevin Feige will focus on the original Fantastic Four cast and the original X-Men cast the most. And I trust that this goodbye is going to be really great because it's going to be very personal for Kevin Feige. But then, after Secret Wars, the Mutant Saga will begin. This is when we'll start to get new mutants in the MCU. Not the new mutants, but new X-Men in the MCU. And our own X-Men team will start to form. Now, of course, they've already been kind of doing that. Ms. Marvel dropped the name Mutant, and we know that Namor is a mutant from Black Panther Wakanda Forever as well. Also, that's not a spoiler, they confirmed before the movie even came out that he is a mutant. So if you haven't seen it, don't worry, I haven't spoiled any scene there, they just confirmed beforehand. But these are just teases. Nothing has really been put in place yet, but now it makes sense. Kevin Feige wants to say goodbye to the old X-Men and then start the new saga after the Multiverse Saga. Start it off with X-Men, which is a perfect idea because it's original and fresh at that point. At that point, the Avengers will have had 6 phases all to themselves. The Avengers and all the other heroes that fall along the lines with them, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, everybody that we've seen so far. And then after, it'll be time for the X-Men and the Fantastic Four to take the spotlight. Of course, we'll probably still have an Avengers team, but the spotlight and the focus is really going to be on the new people coming in. And I like this idea because it keeps the MCU fresh. And I think the end of Phase 5 and Phase 6 and the Multiverse Saga in general is going to be pretty big. So as far as the future of the MCU is concerned, I'm really excited for it, and I think it's going to be very bright. But hey, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Are you excited about this? Is this something you want to see? Let me know. Don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest news. For live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.